This class is about 45 minutes. It's a power flow with a focus on balancing out your heart chakra. So that's also known as your Anahata. That's your fourth chakra. I'm using some lavender oil. Lavender is the scent associated with your heart chakra. I'm also going to light some sage here with a focus on where that chakra is located. So it is at the center of your chest. But it also extends through your shoulders. So if you're feeling any tightness in your shoulders or your neck, this practice will also be really beneficial for you. If you're following along with my playlist on Spotify, go ahead and hit play right now. So if you're feeling any type of lack of love, joy, compassion, forgiveness, if you're feeling disconnected from others, or if you're struggling with finding a sense of inner peace right now, you'll feel really good after these next 45 minutes. The heart chakra is also associated with your chest, your lungs, your heart, any circulatory issues, and it extends all the way from your shoulders out your arms and into your hands. So we'll be doing a lot of work in the entire body, but focusing specifically on those areas. We'll do some back bends, some heart openers, and some shoulder releases integrated in that power flow. So once you have the area set up, once you have the music going, if you're choosing to do this practice with music, then go ahead and make your way onto your mat. I'm going to start here in a laying down position. Supta Baddha Konasana with your feet together and knees wide, and start with your arms reaching overhead. Your fingertips can touch overhead, and just let your elbows and knees fall open. Still keep your core engaged here and close your eyes and take a few breaths and focus on that heart center area. So deep inhales start to fill up right at the center of your chest, and then as you exhale, any tightness that you're feeling through the shoulders, through the neck, start to release it. Allow your hips start to open. And with any practice or any time you're working on the chakras, it's always good if you want to take some sort of mantra or intention. So go ahead and place your hands right at your heart center. Take your knees together and feet still about hip width apart. Yeah, so your inner thighs are coming together. Eyes still closed here, still in the relaxed state. Anything you want to repeat to yourself, some examples, if it resonates with you, then just repeat it a few times. I am worthy of love. There's an infinite supply of love. I open my heart and accept others as they are. And then carefully roll onto the right side of your body. Keep your right arm long and pull your knees in towards your chest. Fetal position here. So returning to a place of innocence with an open heart here for the rest of your practice. And go ahead and make your way up to seated. Crossing your ankles. Just roll the shoulders down the back a few times. So yeah, lift the shoulders up towards your ears and then drop the shoulder blades down your back. Loosen up. And then taking some cat-cow breaths here. As you inhale, pull your chest forward. Then as you exhale, round your spine and tuck your chin in. Movement and breath together. Inhale, pull forward, arch your back. Then exhale, round your shoulders, tuck your chin. Do that a few more times. And then go ahead and bend your elbows. Take your hands to your shoulders and draw some circles with your elbows here. And hold the circle. Start to take your left elbow forward, right elbow back. And then take it back to center. And then just switch. Right elbow comes forward, left elbow comes back. And then go ahead and take it to center. Exhaling as your upper body comes to center. Take a big inhale and then exhale, twist. And then inhale back to center. And then exhale, twist the opposite direction. Move through that a few times, own breath, own pace. And then as you release out of that, make your way into a downward facing dog. Really focus on pressing between your thumbs and forefingers, lifting your hips up high. Sink your heels low and feel your shoulders broaden across your back. Heart is open, top of your head is heavy here, so the back of your neck stays long. Good, then go ahead and make your way to all fours. Release your feet flat. Drop your belly, lift your chest as you inhale. Then as you exhale, make your way back to a downward facing dog. Go ahead and do that again. Drop to all fours, release your feet, inhale, chest lifts. Then exhale, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Spread through the space between your shoulder blades. Then go ahead again, drop to your knees, drop your belly, lift your heart center up, inhale, then exhale, downward facing dog. From here, right leg floats high, bend your right knee, and take your right hip over top of your left hip. And take any small movements you need to here, maybe roll out the ankle, roll out your knee. Then go ahead and pull forward, knee into your chest, drop your back knee and drop your foot down. So your right foot's forward, reach your arms overhead, hook your thumbs overhead, pull your elbows wide. And if you have the space, you can take your eye gaze up, but focus on pulling your heart forward, lifting out from your hips right here, sides of your waist are long. And then on your next exhale, hands come down. Go ahead and step your right foot back to meet your left. Bend your elbows so you lower all the way down, coming onto your belly. Taking a baby cobra here, pressing into your palms and forearms, pull your chest forward and then lift up and just breathe here. So you're opening up new space in the shoulders and in the chest. After a few breaths, make your way to all fours into downward facing dog and go ahead and find your three-legged dog with the left leg floating up. Bend your knee, peel your hips open. And then go ahead and pull forward, knee into your chest, set your foot down, release your back knee, release your back foot, reach your arms overhead, hook the opposite thumb in front this time, and same thing here, heart pulling forward, lift up, create new space through the front side of your body. Yeah, keep your neck long, take another big inhale, then as you exhale, take your hands down, step your foot back. Bend your elbows, lowering down. This time, pull into an upward facing dog. If you're not ready for it, then just take baby cobra. Go moving slowly through this upward facing dog so you feel what's happening. Shoulders are down and back. Then go ahead and tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Find downward facing dog. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, and then step or hop your feet in between your hands. Lengthen to a flat spine, then forward fold. Release all the tension out the top of your head. Go ahead and rise up, full body stretch. Arms reach high. And then take your hands together to heart center, trace your midline, fold forward. Come to a halfway lift, lengthen as you inhale, then step your feet back into a high plank, lower to low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog inhaling. Downward facing dog exhaling. Good. Pause here for a few breaths in your downward facing dog and notice if any changes are happening through that space between your shoulders. And it's okay if it's not happening yet. It will as the class goes on. So go ahead and start to step your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Press through your heels, reach all the way up, full body stretch. Palms together, trace the midline. Inhale, flat spine. Exhale, hands down, feet back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Make your way into a downward facing dog. So feel the heart rate start to increase here with a few of these sun salutations. Go ahead again, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop your feet. Lengthen halfway. Forward fold, release. Press through your heels, reach through all 10 fingertips. And then forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or hop your feet back into chaturanga. Then your upward facing dog. and into your downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and do that again. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, step or float your feet, lengthen halfway, forward fold, release. Rise up, full body stretch. As you exhale, take a forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen halfway, pull your heart forward, then hands go down, feet go back. High to low plank, and then upward facing dog into your downward facing dog. Good, so again, heart rate up a little bit more now. You should feel the heart beating. Go ahead and drop to your forearms. Coming into dolphin, so the rest of your body is in the same exact position as a downward facing dog. But on your forearms here, keep shifting more weight into your forearms, and you have the option here to float the right leg up. Otherwise, just stay on both feet. After a few breaths with the right leg lifted, go ahead and switch, float the left leg up. Good, then go ahead and press back to a downward facing dog. From here, take your feet in between your hands, stepping or jumping. Inhale, lengthen halfway, forward fold, release, chair pose. Utkatasana, your hips are low, your arms are reaching overhead. And keep squeezing your thighs together. Keep your core engaged and keep your core tight. And then drop your hips a little bit lower and still focus on pulling your heart center forward. So through the gates of your arms here. And it may help to pull the elbows to 90 degrees. So go ahead and take goalpost arms. And then as you inhale, send the elbows back slightly. As you exhale, squeeze the forearms together. And then again, inhale, send the elbows back. Exhale, squeeze the elbows together. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close and round. Inhale, open up. Reach your arms overhead this time. And then forward fold, release. Good, now option here for a crow pose. If crow is not in your practice, just go ahead and take your vinyasa, meeting us in downward facing dog. If you're taking crow, take your eye gaze forward and then land lightly and softly in your chaturanga. Upward facing dog, and then everybody meets in downward facing dog. From here, your right foot comes in between your hands. Drop your back foot flat. Warrior one shape with your legs. So both feet are flat here. From this warrior one shape, hips and shoulders square towards the front of the room. Go ahead and pull your elbows down to those goalpost arms. Good, now reach your arms overhead. Big inhale. As you exhale, hand down, foot back, high plank to low plank. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Left foot in between your hands. Warrior one shape, left side. So your left toes are facing forward, right toes are at an angle. Go ahead and draw your elbows to 90 degrees. And once your elbows are to 90 degrees, press the elbows back an extra inch or two. Pull your heart forward. Maybe take your eye gaze up slightly. And then reach your arms overhead. Big inhale. As you exhale, hands go down. Foot goes back, high to low plank. Into your upward facing dog. And then your downward facing dog. Right foot floats up now. Bend your knee, peel open your hips. Go ahead back to a three-legged dog. You were here before, you can stay here with the hip release or drop your right foot down, land so your feet are about hip width, and come into a flip dog. In your flip dog, press through both heels, reach both hips high, and feel the entire front side of your body opening up. Good, take all the extra work out of your neck, out of your jaw, then go ahead and flip over. Pull your right knee to your left tricep. Take your right hand to the center of your mat and then open up into star pose. So your left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Right foot kicks forward. Now in this star pose, draw big circles with the top arm. So either direction is fine. You can play around going in both directions, but you're really just trying to loosen up some tightness and tension that's built up in the left shoulder. Good. Then from here, make your way to a high plank, right knee squeezing in towards your chest. Set your right foot flat and come into crescent lunge. In this crescent lunge, hands interlace at your tailbone. If you can't get the hands interlaced, you have an option here. You can grab a towel. Otherwise, interlace the hands, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest open. And with this open chest, put all the weight into your right foot and come into a warrior 3 with your hands interlaced. Back heel is active, hips are square. If it's too much through your back or through your shoulders, go ahead and take your hands to prayer or heart center. Good, then land back in your crescent lunge. Land softly, right knee stays over top of your right ankle. And then reach your arms overhead, interlace your fingertips. So all 10 fingers interlace, and then allow the back of your head to rest into your palms, creating almost like a pillow of support for the back of your head. So your head gets really heavy here, allowing your chest to pull forward. Continuing to breathe. On your next exhale, take your hands down, foot back, high plank to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg floats up and then come into a 3-legged dog left side. Stay here and drop your foot and open up into a flip dog. After a few deep breaths in your flip dog, go ahead and make your way into a straight arm plank with the left knee pulling in towards your chest. And then pull it across your body to your right tricep. Take your left hand center, right arm up towards the ceiling, kick your left foot forward, and then open up and draw some big circles with your top arm. If you get to a place that feels really tight, then feel free to hold that arm and just breathe into that space until that tension releases out from your body. So play around with it, explore it right here. And then eventually make your way back to the straight arm plank. Knee pulls in towards your chest, left knee. Then set your left foot flat. Keep your right toes tucked. Coming into crescent lunge with the hands interlaced at your tailbone. Good, knuckles pressing down, heart lifting up. All the weight shifts to your left foot as you float the right leg high. Right leg comes about hip height. Yeah, square off the hips here. Sometimes it helps to take the hands onto your hips and pull the right hip down. Hands can stay interlaced. Hands can come to heart center. Take a few more breaths. And then land softly back into your crescent lunge. Arms reach overhead. Interlace all 10 fingertips and allow the back of the head to rest into your palms. Keep lifting through the sides of your waist. Keep pulling your chest forward. Legs are active. On your next exhale, hands go down, foot goes back, high to low plank, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, take your feet in between your hands. Flat spine as you inhale halfway, fold forward, exhale. Rise all the way up, big full body stretch, and then forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, and then find chaturanga. Into upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Right foot steps in between your hands, come to warrior 1, take one inhale. Then as you exhale, hands down, foot goes back, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side, left foot in between your hands, warrior 1, reach your arms high as you inhale, then as you exhale, hands down, foot back, high plank to low, upward facing dog, into your downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale. Then lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop your feet. Lengthen to a halfway lift, crown of your head pulls forward, and then top of your head releases down. Find chair pose, Utkatasana, hips low, arms high. Inhale, then as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat spine. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath, one move. So inhale, reach high, warrior one right side. And then as you exhale, hands down, foot goes back, high plank to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot in between your hands. Inhale, warrior one left side. Exhale, hands down, foot back, high to low. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop your feet. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold, release. Hips low, arms high, Utkatasana as you inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. So remember, one breath, one move. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one right side, right foot down, both feet flat. Reach your arms high. And then this time, interlace your hands at your tailbone. Same thing you did in crescent lunge, but you have the warrior one shape. So knuckles reaching down, chest lifting high, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Stay here or hinge forward from your waist and fold forward into a humble warrior. Legs staying in the same shape. Head falls heavy, shoulders rinse out right here. So the hands start to fall over top of your head. Get a few more breaths. With every exhale, releasing some more tension between your shoulders. And now go ahead and reach your arms overhead, release the grip, take your hands through heart center, reach your right arm forward and left arm back, open up to warrior two shape. Good. Feel the shoulders drawing down your back. Feel the arms reaching strong in opposite directions. Soften your eye gaze over top of your right fingertips. Maybe even close the eyes here for a few breaths. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior by stretching up and then back, and then make your way into side angle. So right elbow is inside your right thigh, and you can adjust your feet if you need to. Start with reaching the left arm overhead or up to the ceiling. Then maybe make your way into a half bind or into a full bind. Full bind is the hands interlaced underneath the right thigh, never forcing anything, just going to where you can, making sure that your heart is rotated up towards the ceiling wherever you are. And keep pulling the top of your head towards the front of your room. Feel the hips releasing, feel your shoulders releasing. And then carefully unravel whatever binds you have. Make your way to warrior two. Take a big inhale as you reverse, stretch up and back. Then as you exhale, hands frame your right foot goes back to meet your left. Take your high plank and then bend your elbows. This time, go ahead and lower all the way down. Take your hands wider than your mat. Elbows can stay bent here. Press into all 10 fingertips and roll the shoulders down your back as you lift the chest up. So coming into a different variation of cobra. As you inhale, you're lifting your chest, and as you exhale, you're lowering your head back to the mat. Do that about 4 or 5 times. And then go ahead and take it into a baby cobra, pressing into your forearms, pressing into your palms, pulling your heart forward, and any emotions that you're feeling around the heart area, just kind of let them settle right here. So if you've had a lot of movement or activity there lately, just let the dust settle and see how it feels. And then carefully lowering down, make your way into a downward facing dog. Left side now, left foot in between your hands. Warrior one. Once you find the position in warrior one, interlace your hands at your tailbone. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest open. Maybe you stay right here, or as you feel ready, fold forward into a humble warrior. Try to keep the palms pressing towards one another so you keep length in your wrists. And try to notice and be aware of what's going on in your body. So if you want to take that humble warrior, go ahead and take that humble warrior. Your legs are working strong, right hip still pulling forward and left hip pressing back. But you really want to focus on releasing and rinsing out through your shoulders. Maybe wiggle out your jaw a few times right here if you tend to keep tension in the jaw area. And then go ahead and make your way back up. Use strength through your core to lift the upper body, release the grip. Reach your arms up as you inhale, and then take the hands through heart center. Open up to warrior two. Left arm is forward, right arm reaching back. Your arms are strong here. Eye gaze over top of your left fingertips. And go ahead and close your eyes here. If you close your eyes, open your eyes, flip your front palm. Reverse your warrior, stretch up and back. Take a big inhale, then as you exhale, make your way into side angle left side. So exploring here on the left side, your options are to reach the top arm long. You can come into a half bind or full bind. My left side is usually a little bit tighter than my right side. So go to where you can, listen to your body. And with every exhale, you can release some tightness and get just a tiny bit deeper into that posture. So breath by breath. Good, then press back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Hands frame your left foot. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Empty out on your downward facing dog. Lift your heels high, bend your knees low, take your feet in between your hands, lengthen to a flat spine, then forward fold release. Rise all the way up, inhale, reach high, exhale, trace the midline. Inhale, flatten, core tight, crown of your head forward, and then chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right foot steps in between your hands. Keep your back heel lifted. Keep your left hand flat and reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Then go ahead and bend your elbow. Take your right hand and press the back of your head into the right palm. And continue to open up through the chest and shoulders. If that's too uncomfortable, then just keep reaching the arm up towards the ceiling. But go ahead and set the right hand flat. Keep the legs where they are and then reach your arms up. So you're coming into crescent lunge here. Then hands come to heart center. Warrior three, just a transition, and then open up into a balancing half moon. Right hand goes down, left hand goes up. So you're balancing on all four corners of your right foot. And see if you can take the right hand to a half prayer. So right hand floats up to your heart center while still maintaining your balance. Good, then go ahead and land in warrior two. Reverse your warrior and then flow through. Hands go down, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot in between your hands, left arm reaches high, right hand stays flat. Twisting in this lunge, and then take the left hand behind your head, bend at your elbow. Good, maybe add a little bit of pressure of pressing the head into the hand to open up a little bit further. And then after a few breaths like this, go ahead and set your left hand down. Adjust your legs if you need to, then reach your arms overhead, crescent lunge. Hands come to heart center, back leg floats up. Keep pressing the heel back. And then as you're ready, open up into a balancing half moon, second side. Keep your left toes facing forward. When you feel balanced and sturdy, See if you can float the left hand to a half prayer. And then landing in warrior two, reverse your warrior. And then take your hands down, foot back, high to low, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale, and then stepping or hopping your feet in between your hands, lengthen to a flat spine, forward fold release. Come all the way up to standing and continuing with balancing here. So go ahead and reach the arms up. Shift the weight into the right foot. So your left leg goes over, left arm comes under for eagle. Left leg over, left arm under. Connecting what you can with the hands or with the fingers. Squeezing out, rinsing out every major joint in your body right here. And try to keep everything facing forward. Elbows, knees, chest, eye gaze. Keep the arms in eagle arms. Unravel your legs. Kick the left foot back, coming into a warrior three position. From here, still with your eagle arms, go ahead and unravel and reach your arms back behind you so you come into airplane. Fingertips reaching back, heart pulling forward, chest is lifted now, a little bit higher than your hips. Good, then go ahead and come up to standing. As you do this, pull the left knee into your chest or option to extend the leg straight and then reach the left fingertips back behind you. So coming into a standing twist. The right hand is supporting the left leg. Take it back to center. Keep the leg lifted exactly where it is, but bring the palms together to heart center. Lift up a little bit higher. Activate through your lower belly. And then go ahead and set your left foot down. Shift the weight into the left foot now. Reach your arms overhead. Eagle, opposite side. Take the right leg over, right arm under. Clasping what you can. Then maybe pull the forearms forward a little bit more. You can sink the hips a little bit lower. Keep breathing into wherever you feel the tightness here. Keep the arms in eagle arms. Unravel your legs. And kick the foot back. So kick your right heel to the wall behind you. Coming into warrior three, hips are square. Unravel your arms and reach your arms back behind you, airplane. Taking off right here with the chest lifted, triceps engaged. And from airplane, make your way into a standing twist. So moving into it by pulling the right knee into your chest or extending the right leg long and straight, grabbing a hold of your big toe. Right fingertips reach back. Maybe you take the eye gaze to the fingertips behind you. Keep the core tight. And go ahead and rotate back to center. Keep the leg where it is. Bring your hands to a prayer. Good, toes up towards the ceiling. And then set the right foot to meet your left. Dancer's pose. Shift the weight back into the right foot. Left hand grabs the top of your left foot by reaching inside. And the right arm reaches forward. And go ahead and release out of that and right away switch sides. So right hand reaches inside the right foot. Start with the knees together and then slowly start to kick the right foot into the right hand as you reach the left fingertips forward. And the more you kick, the more you reach. So feel the body working in opposite directions here. And then go ahead and release. Big full body stretch, reach high. And hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And then another shot here at crow if it's in your practice. So just a few breaths, maybe 3 to 5 breaths. And then everybody meets in downward facing dog. So wherever you are, if you're in crow, land softly in chaturanga, and then into that downward facing dog. Good. From this downward facing dog, lift your heels and start to tiptoe your toes in between your hands. Cross your ankles and make your way into a seated position. So in this seated position, go ahead and come into a boat pose. Lots of different modifications here. Wherever you go, make sure that you're keeping the work in the center of your body. So out of your hip flexors. If you want more, you can extend the legs straight. Keep the chest open. Keep your face muscles soft. And then go ahead and cross your ankles. Step or float back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And then carefully come to all fours. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Go ahead and stand up onto your knees, setting up for camel. So take your hands to prayer, to heart center, and start to send your hips forward, and then start to take an arch back. So instead of thinking about arching back, think about just opening up front side of your body. And if you feel like you have the space, then go ahead and grab a hold of your heels with your hands. And continue to breathe in, breathe out. And then bring your hands to heart center. And go ahead and stand back up onto your knees. And get ready to do that one more time. This time, take your hands to your lower back. Then press your hips forward as you arch back. Stretching and opening up your abdominal wall, your chest, your throat. Good. Make sure you keep the breath really deep and steady right here. And then carefully come out of that. Make your way to all fours again. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. And exhale, round your spine. Staying on all fours here, kick the right leg back, reach your left arm long. Stay or catch a hold of your right foot with your left hand, really similar to dancer's pose, except you have the opposite hand, opposite foot clasped. Feel the left shoulder blade plugging into your back. Take a few more breaths. Reach everything long before you set it down and switch sides. So it's left leg, right arm. Start by reaching forward, and then option to bend the back knee. Catch a hold of your back foot, however you can reach it. Good. Kick up a little bit higher, create new space. And then setting everything down, downward facing dog. Tiptoe your toes in between your hands. Then cross your ankles. Go ahead and lay down onto your backside here. And press up into a bridge. So your feet are hip width. Start with your tailbone. And press to lift your hips high. Keep your chest open here. And keep sending the inhale into the center of your chest. New oxygen, new air, really penetrating around through that heart center. Then go ahead and release. Give yourself a tight squeeze, tight hug right here. And then go ahead and release, lower down. Press back up again into a bridge position. Option here to interlace your hands underneath you and roll onto the tops of your shoulders, or just keep pressing the palms down. Keep your arms long. Good, one more big inhale, fill up, breathe in. Exhale, lower down, release. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze, tight hug right here. Practice that self-love and compassion. And then go ahead one more time, bridge, or you can go ahead and press into wheel. So fingertips face towards your heels, lift your hips up. Feel your heart pulling towards the back of the room, through your arms. And then go ahead and release, lower down, hug your knees in. Give yourself another hug, tight squeeze. And then go ahead and take your knees together, feet apart, and wrap your arms one around the other. Go ahead and reach your arms up and just switch so the opposite arm comes on top right here. Go back to whatever mantra or intention or feeling you said at the beginning of class and really embrace it right now. Breathe it in, hug it in. And then make your way into some rocks and rolls. Big range of motion here. So as you go back, find plow pose. As you come up, see if you can land in your boat. Yeah, so just moving from plow into boat a few times. Have some fun with this here. Create that childlike playfulness into your yoga practice. Yep, keep rock and rolling a few more times. And then after your next boat pose, hold it, stick it, then cross your ankles, step back, and then lower all the way down, rolling onto your right shoulder here. So right arm is long and straight, left elbow bends. As you roll onto your right shoulder, the left leg naturally will come up and step behind your right leg. So it's the left foot behind the right leg. Yeah, and this will feel really, really good in the right shoulder blade. So keep rolling onto it, keep breathing, and keep releasing on your exhales. This is a good one to do anytime. You can hold this pose for a few minutes if you're feeling extra tight in your shoulders. But we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So go ahead and just roll on. Left arm goes long. Roll onto your left shoulder. Bend your right elbow, take your right leg over top and behind your left leg. You can get a little bit deeper into by pressing into your right fingertips and rolling out through your left shoulder. Good, stay as long as you need to, but we're gonna move on in this class. So go ahead and come onto your bellies. Belly back bend here. So reach behind you. Your body should be prepped for this by now. Grab a hold of your feet with your hands, reaching outside your feet. Then kick the feet into the hands. As you do that, that helps to lift the chest up and open. Shoulder blades pinching together. Feet kick in a little bit more into your hands. Take one more big inhale. Full expression. Then as you exhale, press into a child's pose. Knees are wide, big toes together to touch. In this child's pose, let your hips stay heavy here. Press your elbows down and then bend at your elbows to take your palms together to a prayer position. Thumbs pressing in to the bottom base of your neck. Good, and that'll open up through the arms, through the chest. After a few breaths, set your hands flat, make your way to downward facing dog. Hip release here. So coming into a half pigeon. Start with long arms, and then as you feel ready, start to fold forward into this hip release. Good. Make sure as you release through the hips that you're still keeping the shoulders and neck relaxed. If your forehead's connected to the mat, maybe you rock and roll the forehead side to side a few times. Whatever you need to do to activate the release everywhere in your body. And continuing to utilize the breath with every inhale. Send that oxygen to where you feel tightness. With every exhale, unravel and release. Then carefully coming out of half pigeon right side, make your way back to downward facing dog, just to transition and then switch it out to the left side. So left knee pulls next to your left thumb. Your hips stay square. Release the back leg and back foot. Take a few breaths in long arms. Maybe you just stay in long arms the whole time, but as you feel ready, start to curl your fingertips forward and fold over top of your left thigh. And there's lots of variations for this pigeon pose, so don't feel like you always have to do exactly what I'm doing. These videos are here to guide you, but you really over time want to make this yoga practice your own. So doing what works for you right now with the body that you have today. But if you are in this half pigeon at the top of your mat, take a few more breaths. And slowly start to make your way up to your long arms. And then shift the weight onto your left hip. Go ahead and slide the right leg forward. It's coming into a forward fold, double leg extension. Head drops heavy here. Good, then go ahead and start to lower down onto your forearms. Coming into fish pose. Pressing your forearms down, your heart is the highest part of your body, so let your head fall back. And take a few lion's breaths here in this fish pose. So as you inhale through your nose, fill up through your chest. Then as you exhale, stick out your tongue and sigh out whatever you need to release and let go of. If that feels good, take a few more breaths with that lion's breath. And then make your way into an inversion. I'm going into shoulder stand. And then from shoulder stand, I'm making my way into plow. So the toes fall over top of my head. So shifting around circulation here. Then start to bend your knees and make your way onto your backside, coming into a supine twist. So pull the right knee across your body with your left hand and reach the right arm out to the side. As you reach the right arm, your eye gaze goes towards your right fingertips. And then go ahead and switch sides. So this time, the left knee pulls across your body, supine twist here. Last chance to rinse out. Breathe everything out. Then go ahead and pull your knees in towards your chest. Tight squeeze, big hug here. And then exhale, release into your Shavasana. Stay in this Shavasana as long as you need to. Namaste.